The Batman 2022 has so much hype and excitement surrounding this movie. The energy is through the roof. But does this movie live up to those high, lofty expectations? Let's talk about it in this spoiler-free review of The Batman.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Thank you so much for clicking on this review. If you like watching a guy who looks like a 1970s porn star review movies, then you're in the right place. Consider hitting that subscribe button. That would be awesome. I'm just gonna cut right to it. This movie is 3 hours of awesome epicness. Done. In the review. With all the different iterations, movies, TV series that we have of Batman, it was going to be very difficult for Matt Reeves to create something new and groundbreaking with the character. But this movie finds unique avenues to tell a different story that we haven't seen before. We get to see a more detective, noir, dark, gritty side of Batman. It's a horror, thriller, action movie all mixed into one. Imagine if Batman had sexy time with the movie Seven. This movie would be their love child. Robert Pattinson is one of the best actors I have ever seen. He is fantastic as Bruce Wayne and Batman. He plays Bruce Wayne as more of a shy, awkward, unhinged version of the character, which is drastically different from all the other Bruce Waynes we've gotten, like Christian Bale and Michael Keaton, who are very suave and sexy. In this version, Bruce Wayne is a lot more relatable to the common man. This is Batman in his early years. He doesn't have everything figured out yet. His suit isn't fully upgraded. The Batmobile is still a work in progress. It's very cool to see this kind of early years of the Batman discovering who he is and him becoming that veteran, hard, badass Batman that we know and love. On a side note, he's one handsome ass Batman. I mean, he has this whole sexy emo thing going on. That jawline could cut a diamond. Paul Dano as the Riddler is just insane. He is such an underrated actor. He just goes all out in his performance as the Riddler. He's creepy, he's sadistic, he has these serial killer mystery qualities to him. I don't think I've ever seen Paul Dano do anything better than this performance right here in The Batman. As much as I like villains such as Bane and Deathstroke who pose more of a physical threat to Batman, I like seeing the villains such as the Riddler and the Joker who pose more of a psychological threat to Batman and make him use his detective and his smarts and wits instead of using his fists and his combat skills. Speaking of fists, the action and combat in this movie is top notch. It is filmed so beautifully. All the big wide shots, you can see all the action. There's no stupid shaky cam. Everything feels real and you're like right in the middle of all the fights that are going on in front of you. The color palette in this movie reminds me a lot of the Batman Beyond animated TV series back in the day. A lot of red, a lot of dark shadows. Every shot is planned out. Every shot has its purpose. This is true cinematography art that you're about to witness in this movie. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman is everything you want Selina Kyle to be. She's sexy, she's a badass, she has this cool little love tension between her and Batman. It feels real. Their conversations and their kind of tension of love between each other feels organic. When I'm watching their dialogue between each other, they have amazing chemistry. It doesn't feel like I'm watching actors read off a script. It feels real. The writing is just perfection. Even though this movie is 3 hours long, there's a lot of characters, a lot of stuff going around, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of story you have to tell. I feel like the villain, the Penguin, was kind of shoved to the side a little bit. I understand this is the Riddler story more than it is the Penguin story, but I think the Penguin poses as a kind of a mob boss threat to Batman. He does kind of play that role in this film, but I feel like his presence was lacking a little bit. Another negative some people might have with this film is that it's 3 hours long. That's a long time for a movie, but I think it justifies it with all the characters that they're bringing in. There's so many. Commissioner Gordon, Batman, Catwoman, Penguin, the Riddler. I mean, there's just so many things going on in this movie. So just go into this movie knowing it's long, but it's necessary, and it feels pretty much fast-paced for the most part. Even though it's kind of slow, it finds that nice balance and middle ground. It has quality and quantity. It's long, but the journey is worth the length. I'm confident in saying this is my favorite Batman film. Something about this iteration this version of Batman feels right for me personally. In fact, I dare to say, I think it's one of the best comic book movies ever created. Definitely top 5 and maybe even top 3. I don't really have a lot of negatives to say, and if I did, I would just be nitpicking this movie apart because every film has negatives, but damn, this movie is just impressive. It's very rare for a film to have these high expectations and pretty much meet or even exceed those expectations. I have a feeling this movie is going to be one of those films where kids grow up and they watch it and it makes them change their viewpoint on movies and how movies are created. This film could very well inspire the next Matt Reeves, the next Stanley Kubrick. This movie potentially has an impact to be a generational film that everyone collectively loves. I'm gonna give The Batman a 9.5 out of 10. Wait, so why didn't you give this movie a 10 out of 10? You know why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10? Because it doesn't have any bat nipples. That's why. We all know including bat nipples on the bat suit gives you an extra half a point. I didn't write the rules, man. It's just how it goes. What more do I have to say about this film? Get your booty in the theater and go see this movie. Thank you so much for watching my review of The Batman. Make sure you throw a batarang at that like button down below. That would be awesome. And as always, I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.